Live from digital address GA0993341, you're welcome to Newsnight. Headlines on Newsnight is brought to you by Eden Heights. Eden Heights, welcome home. In this edition, traditional authorities in Abutia demand answers from police on fate of Rosewood and tractor seized in May from illegal operators in the Kalakpa Forest Reserve.
It was the police command who released those items to the company, only to be found that to realize that the same tractor that was released is back to the forest again to go and work.
We'll hear from the Regional Security Council. Also, security analyst wants government to speed up procurement of counter-terrorism equipment as Ghana Immigration Service admits their incapability of managing effectively the country's borders.
You have nomadic herdsmen who are crossing into the country as at when they like, and they carry with them arms and ammunition. They carry with them all sorts of offensive weapons, and no one is checking. Immediately, what we need to do is to summon all the resources we can put together.
Also in the bulletin, national executives of the governing NPP yet to decide fate of 3 NPP parliamentary aspirants in the Karachi West constituency after failing to meet deadline for submission of nomination.
We are yet to get a directive from the national executive, so I don't think I can speak to it.
We have details of that.
And in business, government assures power supply will not be affected despite the relocation of car power ship to Sekondi Takoradi from Tema from tomorrow.
And later in the bulletin,
99 and I'm a Temunka, Satam, the Pranay, and Numbe, occupy Mukam. If you say, Obisa for Niraquine, and as you will fear, you miss out your union 10 times. Begin someone watch it, and with the Majidemukra.
And the controversy about who the best rapper in Ghana is continues. We'll tell you more as industry players analyze DJ Black's top 50 list. Newsnight is brought to you by Puma Card from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience. And in our very first story, traditional authorities in Abutia in the Volta region are demanding answers from police on the fate of Rosewood and tractors seized in May from illegal operators in the Kalakpa Forest Reserve. They claim illegal harvesting activities have been ongoing even after the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources announced a ban in March. More than 3 containers of illegal logs were impounded in an operation led by the Abutia Youth Development, but those involved have not been prosecuted and equipment no longer the regional police command. They have petitioned the police over the issue. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us live in studio with more. So what does the petition say exactly?
So it's dated the 31st of July 2019, addressed to the regional police commander, and in it the petitioners make the point that on behalf of the Abutia Traditional Authority and also the Abutia Development Union, they would want to bring the attention of the regional police command to a number of developments, including the fact that there was an operation on the 29th of July 2019 to impound 2 tractors loaded with rosewood and also some other equipment. But subsequent checks, they say, have shown that those said items have actually been released to the groups, and they say that in impounding this, the youth group and the traditional leaders actually led the police to the said area in order to get the items, and that according to them in the petition, one of the informants in the case, one senior whose help actually aided them in order to get hold of this, was actually attacked and has since lost his life. And so for them, the operation that they led the police to conduct on sometime in May is actually a serious one that has caused the life of one of them. So they are worried that there's been a situation where their work is being brought to naught because of the fact that the said rosewoods have been released, and they rounded up the said letter to the police commander demanding answers that they would want to pull brakes on any further release of the items and ensure that those who are arrested in connection with the said activities are actually dealt with. Seth Sahe is actually vice chairman of the group. He's been speaking to us.
We had a meeting with the Regional Security Council, and at that meeting, we did not settle down on whether the items should be disposed of. There was no discussion on that. But we were surprised that to know that the tractors, one tractor has been carried out, the crane or the wood miser is no longer there, And from further investigation, we got to know that it was the police command who released those items to the company. Only to be found that, to realize that the same tractor that was released is back to the forest again to go and work.
And for you, you have sent a new petition to the police.
Yeah.
What exactly are you asking of them now?
No, we've written to the regional police command just to find out why the seized items were released without recourse to Abutia Development Union, because we carry out this operation with them. We use our own resources to move all these items from the bush to Oho.
Have there been any prosecutions? The Togolese who arrested, what has happened to them as well?
Not at all, not at all. We were just told they were granted bail. Yeah.
What's your suspicion on how come the trade is being allowed to continue despite the ban that has been placed and the effort you are making?
Yes, we believe strongly that with regards to the Kalakpa issue, I don't know the word to use or whether it's a cartel. There are some people behind which nobody can doubt it, because we don't see how the company will be working with impunity. Even though there's a ban on Rosewood, they are still maneuvering to take them away.
But the minister said he had revoked the salvage permits, which would have allowed them to do that. So that is being flouted, you claim?
Oh, surely, I don't think even the ban on Rosewood is affecting the Kalakpa issue, because the ban was in March, but the guy was working even the whole of April, May. The guy was working until we take this action.
So you had the Seth Isahe, like Gakpo said, he's the vice chairman of the Abutia Development. Joseph is still here with me though. But what have we gathered from the Regional Security Council on why the said equipment were released?
And also the Rosewood in question. The explanation is that they were actually brought out of the forest for the necessary processing before the 12th March announcement by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister that he's renewing the ban and revoking the salvage permits, and that the said logging of the woods was not before, although the arrests were actually sometime in May. They had moved them from the forest and were working on them, which is how come they've been forced to release them back to the group, to the said company, just so that they don't take any action against a government or, for that matter, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
So it looks like the situation is only not in the 3 northern regions. This is happening in the Volta region
as well. The Abutia area is still a very serious problem.
We're still following up on this Rosewood illegal trading, and Joseph Opoku Gakpo is on our Greek and Technology desk. Now, away from that, let's do politics, because the fate of 3 NPP parliamentary aspirants for Kratchi West constituency in the OT region hangs in the balance. Why? They missed the deadline for submission of nomination forms. None of the 3 aspirants, Tony Fofie, Jalula Kajal and Francis Odenke Intem, submitted their forms at close of nominations, which means they are no more eligible to contest for the primaries scheduled on the 28th of September. The OT regional chairman of the party, Evans Yaudapa, wants the party to afford the aspirants another opportunity to file the nomination forms. He spoke to Kwesi Parker Wilson.
What is on my table now is telling me that 3 people picked the nomination form but have failed to submit the forms on time. So as we speak, we don't have any aspirants in Kratchi West as far as this Ofan constituency parliamentary elections are concerned.
Okay, so what is the party doing about it now?
Well, the region, what we have to do is to get our superiors informed, which I did inform my general secretary about it. And he asked us to hold on with the vetting. Once none of them was able to his form on time, we should hold on with the vetting in Kratchi West.
Now, this clearly means that the NPP do not have the men to contest the seat in Kratchi West.
We have the men. Actually, I don't know whether maybe as a result of financial constraints. I think that the reasons are best known to them. But for now, that is what I think I can speak to.
So these 3 individuals, should you open nominations again, are they required to pick another form, or they've been barred from contesting at all?
Oh, they will not be banned from contesting. They have every right. That is their democratic right.
After failing to meet the deadline?
Yeah, we are going to give them another opportunity. This time around, they have to ensure that they are not beaten by the deadline.
And when would that be, sir?
Well, we are yet to get a directive from the National Executive, so I don't think I can speak to it.
You heard there, the Otu regional chairman of the party of the MPP, Evans Yao Dapade, speaking to my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson. Now, security analyst Adam Bona is warning the country could face terror attacks if we do not put in place measures to procure counter-terrorism equipment. It comes on the back of admission by the Ghana Immigration Service of their inability to effectively manage the country's 45 border posts with other countries due to the inadequate resources and the vast nature of the areas. More of that shortly, but as part of Joy News' Porous Border series, Volta regional correspondent Fred Kwame Asare throws the spotlight on Gakli, a border community in the Ketu South municipality, where the growing number of human settlements along the borders with its neighbours Togo is fueling cross-border crime.
It's business as usual at Pillar 11, one of the numerous unapproved routes to and from Ghana to neighbouring Togo. Though there are border security officials here, the checks are not as rigorous as you would see on the approved routes. A border officer told me because community members interrelate, work and live in both countries, it is difficult restricting people from crossing. There are several of such unapproved routes leading to Gakli and adjoining communities in the area, as only imaginary lines separate the two countries.
There are different tribes here in Gakli. We have the Frafres, the Hausas, the Grusis, the Arabs and many other tribes from West Africa.
The shops here are mostly stocked with francophone or foreign products brought into the country through the unapproved routes. In Gakli, almost everything is priced in the West African CFA franc, including lands, making the Togolese currency dominant here. The unit's committee chairman, Koshivi Bakba, believes citing an official border post in the area would enhance security and lessen cross-border crimes.
Former
President Mahama and President of Togo, Faure Gnassingbé, promised to establish a border post here during their visit to the area. We are appealing to government to consider doing that. The Ketu South Municipal Chief Executive Elliot Edem Agbenowu lamented human settlements along the border were undermining the country's security. He indicated various measures are being taken to streamline activities in Gakli in line with the country's laws.
In fact, we have more than 28 unapproved routes in the municipality, but immigration has been helping. However, what we earmarked to do, for which we've already started and about 60% has been completed, is to construct a road from the main border, joining the no man's land, to link with the Segbe, the unapproved routes.
Until stringent measures are put in place at these unapproved routes leading to the country, Ghana will continue to lose revenue due to smuggling through these routes. Fred Kwame Asare's report for Joy News.
Well, there's a bigger issue because the Immigration Service says there's high possibility of arms smuggling into the country. Deputy Controller General of the service, Lord Ofori Efrifa, spoke to us earlier about this issue. He's been speaking on the AM show.
Yes.
So came to his
there
cousin.
was a chieftaincy clash across the Burkina Faso. So in seeking refuge with his people, they come across the border to Chile. The chief there, they are cousins.
In the traditional line of
In the traditional line. And they interact every day. So naturally, they just move with his people and they are settled there now. Asylum seekers.
So he's with his cousins
He's with
in
his
the family line or the traditional line.
The family line.
But then he's in Ghana.
I see in Ghana. So walk across 100 meters and he's back home.
Did you process him, for example, for papers?
Of course. No. The borders are such that at times people moving without visa, like you rightly said, the savannah areas. You visited the Boku stretch. You saw the mountains. You saw that in the dry season, you can see meters or kilometers away. So you can be here, the border agents can be here, but they can see somebody crossing on a motorbike. How do you react? How do you chase? So these are the real situations. The border itself is a challenge. Because arms are being trafficked all through the sub-region. Where is it coming from? Where are they going? And if you look at our northern conflicts, look at the arms that they wield. AK-47, sophisticated arms. Not our local traditional prepared arms like they have in Alabama.
You heard that the Deputy Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, Lord Ofori Frifa, now joining us is learning the government has put in a request for urgent supply of counter-terrorism equipment to deal with the emerging threat. Security analyst Adam Bona wants the state to act with speed.
Go to most of these approved ones, apart from the flower one. Apart from that, most of our borders, land borders are just porous. You go to Hamile, visit them, and you will realize that it is just, people just go through. There is no proper screening. And so you don't have to be surprised when we don't have enough resources, either human or material, for protection of our land borders or our territorial, jurisdiction. And so as far as I'm concerned, I am not one bit surprised. If you look at how many immigration officers do we have, they are woefully inadequate. They need off-road quad bikes. They don't have them. You have nomadic herdsmen who are crossing into the country as at when they like, and they carry with them arms and ammunition. They carry with them all sorts of offensive weapons. And no one is checking. Even
the threat of terrorism is real. In the immediate, what can we do?
Well, immediately what we need to do is to summon all the resources we can put together. I know that the current administration is procuring some counter-terrorism surveillance equipment to protect the borders, to make sure they beef up security, they build enough security posts for the immigration officials. But as to when this is going to kickstart, because I know it's been done under the ticket of emergency, but sometimes ticket of emergency projects sometimes don't happen, as they call it emergency. And so for me, we need to put in enough measures and train the people. It is easy for the country to put in resources to train those who are living around the border, around the, our part of the country and that part of Burkina Faso or the other neighboring country. Once we train them, then they become our first line of defense. They will be able to give information. But as we speak, that is not being done.
Security analyst Adams Bona there. You're still listening to the holiday edition of Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. And George Riafe is here with the latest from the world of business.
Hi, Emefa. And how are you doing in spending your holiday?
Working holiday. I'm enjoying it.
Well, coming up in business, government assures power supply would not be affected despite car powership relocation to Kendi in Western region from Tema. And export to UK from Ghana post-Brexit likely to witness some fresh ties. We'll give you the reasons. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you? Let's now settle for the details. Now, government has given the firm assurance the relocation of the car powership to Sekondi, that is, it would not affect power supply in the country. The floating power vessel is set to be moved from its base in Tema to Sekondi Takoradi from tomorrow. Let's hear Sandra Amakwe. She's the communication specialist with car powership.
Powership will depart from the Tema Fishing Harbour on Thursday, August 15, and it will berth within the Sekondi Naval Base on Friday, August 16. The main purpose for the relocation is to enable the powership utilize natural gas resources from the Western Enclave. We envisage that due to pre-commissioning works to connect the powership to the transmission lines in Sekondi, the powership should be off the national grid for a maximum period of 17 days.
Now, car powership supplies about 470 megawatts of power to the national grid, and it will go for about 17 days. Now, there are fears that this could negatively impact on power supply, but Deputy Minister of Energy, William Rekwedu, disagrees.
We've taken the necessary measures to make sure that we do not suffer any adverse effect in the national system. As you know, we have enough gas supply in the west, which is from the Sankofa field. So the decision is to move car power from Tema, which hitherto has been using HFO, Takoradi, to use the natural gas that is coming from the ENI field. And that is what we're hoping to do. And in the course, it's always part of the decision that government has taken to reduce the cost of generation to the good people of Ghana.
Mr. Adu, we've told me, so this measures that you've taken, would it be enough for the 17 days?
There's not going to be any problems at all as far as generation of power and the supply of power to the good people of this nation and to industry, to the ordinary people of this country. There's not going to be any. We've taken the necessary measures to ameliorate the reduction of the taking away of the car power ship from the next to Takoradi. We're going to be fine. But for the for the fact that car power has announced this, the good people of this country would not even have known that the movement of the 470 megawatts has been taken out of the system.
He's also been giving us some updates on the status of power supply in the country.
As I'm sure all of you can attest to, we've had reasonably basic supply of power to the good people of this country. Just this afternoon, somebody told me, the Dumso is still there. And the fact of the matter is, if a truck runs into a pole in your area without your knowledge and you have a power outage, it is localized. It's nothing to do with Dumso, so to speak. These are localized. If anybody is experiencing any shortage of power or taking out of power to their area, it is not necessarily Dumso. If a car runs into a pole in your area, you will have, unfortunately, a problem with the supply of power. But as far as the classic definition of Dumso is concerned, that's due to generation shortfall, we do not have that problem.
Deputy Energy Minister Wilanreku Adu. Now, Ghanaian businesses that export to UK will be compelled to pay some extra tariffs on their goods from next year after Britain exits the European Union. Now, that is if government fails to actually establish a reciprocal trade deal with UK to continue to enjoy access for its produce to that market. To this end, one of the major exporters of fruits to the UK, Golden Exotic, is making a passionate appeal to government to have an agreement with the UK government that is before the Brexit deadline to avoid the challenges for Ghanaian export to that country.
Well, Brexit's not arrived yet, but the issue is that all the contracts for banana and usually pineapple are done yearly, so by the end of each year you need to have your prices and your tenders for all of the supermarkets in Europe, and that process has started already. So if there's no deal on Brexit and an agreement is not signed, then the importers will automatically add €114 a tonne for us for all the exports into the UK, and so we're already putting out tender documents, and the supermarkets are automatically adding that €114 a tonne because they don't see a signed agreement. Now, I'm sure that there will be an agreement on time, but I think that the time is now for us getting very short, because €114, just to put it in perspective, turns a profit for us into a loss.
Managing Director of Golden Exotic, that is Benedict Rich, he's been speaking to Joy Business after a tour of the farm in a Sicheri in the Greater Accra region. And that's all for the holiday edition of Business Report
on Newsnight. I'm sure you're a lover of rap music.
Of course, and I go for Bravo.
Bravo?
Yeah.
Okay, so
and also I know you're talking about the local market, but also Tupac as well. Okay. And it has to do with US.
That's changes, man. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try and settle the controversy about who the best rapper in Ghana is at the moment. You know that Ghana's most celebrated DJ and host of Open House Party on Joy, DJ Black, released a list of top 50 rappers in Ghana. And it's all Obrafo on top and D Black at the bottom of the list. Now, the list, since its release on Thursday, has generated a lot of talk on social media and controversy. Here is a wrap of everything that has happened so far.
Nipanyina do wadwe, nipanyina so tanwa. Boy, and your wife didn't say what dreary, we are see a brabo so nyamin can't one.
I get, I no go rest here. Trap me with your claws, you missed. Understood, you can't be misunderstood. You're so clear, I'm your Frank Underwood. Your needs, I won't undermine, never put them under mine.
Now, if you can do this, the hip and funky will call it spitting bars. But for the, should I say formal, it is a set of rhymes, a play on words, street vernacular, or something like that. Bottom line, they must come together into something rhythmic.
Open the door. Open Acapulco Bay and I'm in by Ocean. 54 seeking green. It's your friend don't green. Tunabo Aboski, a be a gabati.
Music connoisseurs will argue that the literary elements and all that must make sense and in fact carry a message like this.
I can see my shorty from the driveway. Open the pedal, so what can I say? Anything we do it our way.
Or even this.
Careful or careless, live without a care in the world, that be the best. Yamini back when you cigar. And fashion with phone, fashion back.
But that will count for little in the present scheme of things as commercial music continues to drive the direction of what the musicians produce. Ghana's number one DJ, DJ Black, shook a few tables when he put up a list of top 50 MCs in Ghana. Of course, Obrafour in number one. And the Vera hitmaker D Black in number 50.
DJ Black, you're a D Black here.
Oh, Vera. It be me when you do me like that.
Well, sorry if you did not make it in here. DJ Black has some explanations why you did not make it.
Obrafour's longevity in the game, his ability to weave words in such a way that both the elderly and the kids appreciate and still be able to keep such a clean flow for all these while. He's undoubtedly the best rapper in my opinion. Sarkodie coming in number 2. Sarkodie has always and will always be an MC who gains the respect of everybody.
But one man who has worked with some of these top MCs over the years and actually produced them insists the comparison of different eras is not in order. Here is Hammer of the last two fame.
If you want to compare people, compare everybody in their prime. Internet changed everything. The numbers changed. People are streaming now. We're selling good CDs. So you can't compare the different times. Times are different. And so we have 3 pillars in hip life since it started. The founder, who's Reggie Rockstone, and Obrafour, who taught us how it is done, and Sarkodie, who took us to the world.
For Sammy Forson, who is unashamedly biased towards rapper Sarkodie, he says time has come for artists to prioritize originality.
We need to conquer the world. We need not lose our identity as well. If they want Jay-Z, they already have Jay-Z. They already want somebody who's a replica of Jay-Z. They want you to be original and all that. We need to see how best we can package our talent and sell it to the world because we have something of value.
Girl, me, I want Trump kiss. Can you give it to me like this? You go shopping, I forget the prices.
Now, let me tell you this. To be brutally frank, some of the names in that list, well, what do I know? I just jam when I can. But one artist who made number 21 on the controversial list has been contesting it, and I'm thinking, Tiny, really?
To rate myself number 21 in Ghana? No, I don't think so. I'll just be in first 10.
Top 10?
Yes.
Who will be there with you?
Kwade will be there with me. Obrafour will be there with me. Sarkodie will be there with me. Lord Kenya will be there with me. Pono will be there with me. And Ochami Kwame will be there with me.
For many, Sarkodie, Obrafour, they deserve to slag it out at the top. Others believe Patapaa Amisti, aka Patapize, should have made it onto the list somehow with his recent exploits. The man himself has been reacting to the list. All those who made that list are just based in Ghana.
It's me, I don't give a damn without let's talk about music, let's talk about training.
So there you have it. The debate will not end anytime soon. And not that we didn't expect it to, but guys, let's simply jam.
Are you training? Okay, so Patapa, they're ending that report put together by Komla Adom, and the controversy rages. Who is Ghana's best rapper? And that's it for the special holiday edition of Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. At the top of the hour 7, Nana Ansakwao is up next. He'll come up with That's My Opinion holiday edition, and it's we're talking about governing based on borrowed cultures. Interesting topic all the time. Do stay and join Nana Ansakwao with That's My Opinion. I am Emefa Apau. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.